coming into yourself, what was the first feeling that you felt when you said, I'm choosing to live, and this is how I'm gonna do it?
That's very specific.
The black girl magic is killing us. I ain't gonna lie, Toni. I ain't been into manifestation, okay? I just don't understand why y'all was just talking in the mirror or in the room, just talking, saying stuff.
One thing I'm not gonna do is perform for y'all.
Welcome back to another episode of Say Something with Cheré. I am your girl, Cheré, and you already know this. And I'm talking today, my guest here is actually gonna talk to us about music, manifestations, how you heal, how she healing the land. Once was a life coach, but she didn't start tapping into people's inner being because the life coach wasn't working. But y'all know how music is soothing to the soul. It is healing to the soul. So I can't wait to have this conversation with my guest, Toni Jones, the Toni Jones.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm well. I'm grateful. I'm present.
Okay. Don't start no stuff right now. Just let us get in the interview, Toni.
Why she so silly, y'all?
Well, I'm grateful. I always say I'm amazing, which I am, but that touches so many people. So if I start giving them like 3 or 4 different things like you just did, girl, I might save a soul. I might do a baptism. By the time I get done, if I say 3 or 4, amazing, grateful, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here, Toni.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I heard about you through my friend, now accountability coach. She like a drill sergeant. Pam.
Yeah, but she's the perfect balance.
Oh yeah.
She's the perfect balance though.
Yeah, she is.
Just enough for the soft heart girlies.
Oh, she definitely is. And
she know how to
she's a
get
softie.
you together.
Yes, real quick. But then she's a
But y'all
softie
can't
too.
have her. Y'all can't.
Yeah, she's off.
She's
We
ours.
definitely gatekeep on that. Sorry. If she
Gotta
just
pay us to get access to
pay
her.
us, nah.
We gonna give her the money though.
Because she's not even taking any clients anyway, so
No.
it's a wrap. I snuck mines in, y'all. I snuck in there overeating. We like to eat. So she kept saying, you gotta meet Toni, you gotta meet Toni. And I was just like, then she invited me to a few of your sound baths.
Okay.
And was they sound baths or they was
They were affirmation sound baths.
affirmation sound baths? And I couldn't make any of them, but I was like, all right, we gotta get Toni on the show. Well, we booked you months ago. She had you already scheduled.
Okay.
So I don't know if you knew, but we knew. But Toni,
Yes.
today you healed the land through music and affirmation.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know it. And you might even want to stumble upon this because you started as a life coach. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I got my degree in psychology, and once I was in the process of getting my degree in psychology, I was learning all this stuff about human behavior and how the mind works. And I started delving into neuroscience, and I was like, ooh, I want to start my own business. I don't want to be a psychologist because I didn't like the career of the psychology, but I love the information of psychology, the study of it. And so I was like, ooh, I got an idea. I'll start my own wellness business that teaches women how to heal from workaholism. But they learn how to heal from it by learning how their psychology works. They can transcend a mindset that's addicted to working to a place where they can center their life more around well-being. So that's how I got into it. And the more and more I was getting into the life coaching, the more I saw that the messages that are in my business, that were part of my brand, they weren't popular at the time. So I found different unique ways to attract the everyday, ambitious, high-achieving woman by having these intimate, 5-sensory, full immersive experiences that were centered around these messages to attract the women, to educate the women to say, you know what, I need to opt into what Toni Jones is offering so I can get it, get that balance of wellness and work ethic together.
Were they group sessions or one-on-one?
Oh, you talking about the events?
Yeah.
The events were public.
Oh, okay.
And like one of the events was called Black Girl Magic is Killing Us, and it was very successful, sold out. It was beautiful.
Oh, I can see
it was 5-sensory. So, and it was full immersive. The decor, the ambiance, it was incredible. I really would love to do another one. But I used to have these unique curated experiences that were centered around these messages.
Wow.
And so, and there were about, let's say between 50 to 80 women that these experiences were for. Sometimes I would have them more intimate in my home.
Yeah.
And they were like sacred circles, but it was conversation happening, delicious food, lighting.
Sure.
So that, it was never one-on-one though.
Okay.
But there were public events. And then when they came to the event, that's when I would share my business, because just promoting it on Instagram, it was like, what is this? We don't know wellness, mental health.
Right, yeah, nobody was into that.
It wasn't about getting to the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't attractive because at that time, getting to the bag, getting money, how to become a millionaire in 2 minutes was the thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
I can imagine that being actually taken off though once they got in. I like that you did it as a group setting because it lets the next woman know that you're not alone. So it's like you're not the only one thinking or feeling this way.
Absolutely.
And definitely can see now it's hot because the Black Girl Magic is killing us. Okay, working and don't sleep. Sleep when you die. That stuff is not working. And then it's messing with mental since the pandemic, since COVID. The mental space, I just knew coming out of COVID, everybody was going to be on the couch. Like we needed to be on the couch from isolation. And just now we got to deal with us. We got to sit and deal with us. And that's when we needed Toni.
Yeah. I guess that's how it happened.
That's what I bet that's how it happened. I'm sure.
Yeah. The timing of everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said the heck with the life coaching. Let me move into something greater. And do you still coach people though, one-on-one?
No, I don't. And see, with the life coaching thing, like, I mentioned to, people before, that's what I thought I was going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
That was my plan. That was on my vision board. I was manifesting that. I saw myself as a successful life coach, okay? It happened by chance that I started delving into affirmation music. I prayed that God give me something to help my coaching business so women can practice wellness on the go. And in prayer, I got the idea of affirmation music. I Googled it. That terminology was not Googleable. And so I got excited that I was doing something fresh, Not that I was the first person to put affirmations over music, but to coin it and give a term to what this is. So once I started seeing affirmation music being successful, I was like, and then the way I felt when I was in the studio, when I was writing, I was like, that's different than working with somebody who's hard-headed, one-on-one, who don't want to be well. They just want to get to the bag, but they want to just get some relief and dump it all on me for an hour. That was a different feeling.
No reward.
So I was like, wait a minute, I can get paid while I sleep and have fun and do what I love and feel the pressure without it overwhelming me. Like, you know what, that was different. So that's when I was like, there's something here. And then the more I kept being curious, the more that I delved into it, I was like, oh, this is me. This is who I am. My whole thing.
Listen, music is so soothing. I don't know what it is about, but we determined we're both Aries, so we got that part. Now we both love music, okay? I do not know what it is. Music has to be playing nonstop for me. I mean, I could be in the grocery store and my shoulders just get to going. It's just, it does something inside of me. Now, I'm real big on praise and worship music, and I really can go in like I'm in the shower.
Same.
You too?
Yeah.
Baby,
I come from the church.
I'm okay. Apostolic, Pentecostal.
Kojic, non-denominational, Pentecostal, all of that. Speaking in tongues, shouting.
Come on, let God use you. So when you get that one song and them lyrics is just speaking to you and you constantly say them over and over and over again, it does kind of remind me of your music, even though it's affirmations saying to yourself. But when you're in the middle of a song that is literally speaking to you, you begin to speak over yourself.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why it's taken this long for us to realize that music is healing, not only soothing, but it is healing. And then when you begin to speak the power, to manifest over yourself, it takes you to a whole nother level. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Toni. I ain't been into manifestation, okay? I just understand why y'all was just talking in the mirror or in the room, just talking, saying stuff. It wasn't doing nothing for me. It just didn't do nothing for me. Now, but when I began to write scriptures and put them on my mirror and I began to say those scriptures, it was the same thing. But I think trained from church, if it didn't come from the Bible, if it didn't come from God, it didn't got no power.
Right.
But out of the mouth comes life, and death is in the power of the tongue. So if I'm speaking it over my life, it's got to have power. It don't matter if it come out this word, this Bible or not. If I just say, what's my favorite song on your album that you put out?
Take Up Spaces.
Girl, you should never put that. That is the anthem for every black girl. For me anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Push through. Like that, just hearing you say push through on there, just like it done something. Like I'm getting chills inside now. Like that is so powerful those affirmations in that music and constantly reminding me that even when I get done and that God is going to do something in me. You said something about getting rid of gossiping or pettiness. I'm going to come out a new girl.
Yeah.
You tell me what you've been through. You had to go through something, because you can't be talking about stuff you ain't been through.
Well, it is what I've been through. Relationships with men, situationships with men, a marriage, healing from religious trauma, and what I mean by that is when you're going through your development on a cognitive, psychological level, you're in these brain states where you're just receiving information. It's like being an empty iPhone, and then you have to download all these apps. So when you're going through those years 0 to 7, those are precious years, because all that information, all the information you're receiving, audio, through visual, through how you're treated, that your environment is shaping your mindset. So when you learn certain things about the gender of God, when you learn things like this is what women are supposed to do, when you learn, this becomes your identity and construct. But then when you go through life, and life says, yeah, that toolbox ain't gonna work for your financial literacy, for your sexual appetite, for self-mastery, for learning how to communicate. And so the religious trauma was about healing from the indoctrination of all of these concepts of self and deity and divinity. And that's not easy when this is a world that you love. This is a world that is part of your whole entire community. And yet I felt the call of God saying, trust. What's the scripture? You walk through the shadow of death. The valley of shadow of death is because you're dying to these identities that saying, I know. This is my belief. When it came to men, I had to do the same thing. When it came to womanhood, I had to do the same thing. When it came to financial literacy, I had to do the same thing. So my journey is accepting that my life of growth requires that process of death and rebirth. Allowing yourself to go through that process of growth, of dying and rebirthing yourself over and over again, but trusting that there is a spiritual, unseen community that is in support of you doing it.
But how? You talk about dying to yourself and unlearning what we've been taught. What does that process look like? And what is the tool that you use? Because dying to yourself can literally put you in a state of depression.
Yes, yes. Okay.
It's lonely.
I would encourage, I always say get a therapist, but I think you should be clear on what type of therapist you want. Shop for your therapist, just like you shop for a certain brand of food that you like. You shop for a certain outfit to wear. Shop for the type of therapist that resonates with what you need, okay? And really sit with yourself with what type of therapist do I need? Do they need to be Christian? Do they need to be, rooted and sounded in the biblical principles? Do I need someone that is more, esoteric and understands metaphysics and all of these you just have to really understand yourself to understand what you need. But whether you know it or not, shop around and find a therapist to be an ally in this process. Me personally, silence and stillness and fasting. Like I've gone into nature and been there for hours just with myself. You cannot escape the truth when you are silent, you are still with yourself. If you find yourself scattered and you don't know where to start, go into nature and be with you. You will hear how loud it is within yourself. And the more you practice that stillness and that silence, it gets quieter and quieter, and then you can hear. It's like a channel opens up. Your sensory evolves. It's like you get an upgrade, and you can hear the clarity of divine messages, and you're like, how do I know this? And then when you actually apply it and you see the results of it, you're like, oh, I have a direct connection to a divine technology that wants to communicate with me. But you got to you got to posture yourself in a habitat where you can get still and quiet enough. So I encourage therapy, you know, mainly because they are trained and skilled in holding space for you.
Okay.
They know what to do with that, rather than your friend, your man, your mama, your grandmama with all the wisdom.
Yeah.
As loving as they are and they mean well and they know how to hold warm space, someone who's trained to hold space for the ego, for those blind spots, for our BS, you know what I'm saying, for our trauma, all of those things, it's important to have that. And then the silence and stillness. Go out into nature. I always say nature is our energetic, our spiritual hospital.
Barefooted.
So go there and practice stillness and, you know, some quiet.
That is still scary.
It is, but the part of you that's scared is the part of you that doesn't want to grow. The part of you that's scared is the one that doesn't want to die. So you have to be able to identify, like, this is not who I'm emerging into. This is the part of me that I have to let go. So all the feelings are important. The fear is important. That's good, because it's like, oh, that means that it's time to shed. It's the process of the caterpillar and the butterfly. It's the caterpillar literally it melts itself into a liquid to formulate all of that it needs, that nourishment from that dying of the self, getting fluid, getting liquid, to become what it needs to be to fly, you know? Into that next evolution of self. So this is the thing, it's a process, but we need coping skills to go through that process. That's why I say a therapist. That's why I say a lot of different things, but I'll say the things for me that have helped me is comforting foods, making sure I'm hydrated, make sure I'm moving my body, not in a bullying way, like I gotta do 50 push-ups. It's just like, just stretch. Stretch to some classical music, go outside, take some deep breaths, have a friend that you can talk to, but also have a professional therapist. Cartoons from my childhood, you know, they're just different things in my toolbox that I use to help me cope, but it's never the same. I can go months without journaling.
I was gonna say, do you journal? Do you recommend journal? Are you on social media?
Yeah, I am Toni Jones.
Are you on there?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
So, well, I guess
I'm on all the platforms.
You're in your process, so you've already done the beginner work. But for somebody who is trying to, they know that it's time to shed, you recommend, how important is it to either connect or disconnect from social media in that phase?
Oh, that's very specific. I can only speak to me. And I just went through this process, even with my team, where I went months without posting, or I did one post. It's because I did not have space to know. I didn't know what my truth was to share, because some concepts that I was still processing it didn't feel like my truth anymore, and I didn't know what my new truth was. So it's like allowing myself the grace and space to say, you know, the world doesn't need me, I need me. And ultimately, this is what the world needs from me, to always show up for me. So when it comes to social media, it's like, don't make it like the end all be all, if you will. I know for me, when I'm in those seasons, I give myself permission to say, hey, it's okay to step away from it to find your truth, because one thing I'm not gonna do is perform for y'all. I'm not going to perform consciousness. I'm not going to perform authenticity. It has to feel real for me for it to have that potent energy that people feel when they go to my page. They're like, I can feel her energy. You know, I can feel her heart and soul. It's because of what I'm doing when I'm not on Instagram.
That's the work.
And so ultimately, I said a lot, but ultimately what I'm saying is, feel your truth. Like, feel it. Like, say, if you know you don't have space for it, pause on it. If you say, you know what, I have space for one post. But this is going to be the truest post I make this month because I'm honoring other things I'm processing.
This is where I am.
So it goes back to your self-awareness.
And the stillness that you mentioned. Like, one of the things I feel like when when I get overwhelmed, I do a lot. And then people that know me is always like, I'm just checking on you. I know you do a lot. But I'm like, the one thing that I've learned over the past couple of years is to literally say, I don't have the capacity for that. Like, I'll say no because I don't have the capacity. And that's unexplained. No explanation behind it. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
No. And I know it hurts your feelings, but I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity. The timing ain't always right, but I've learned that you're going to be stressed out, you're going to be sick, you're going to be spinning with your head, and everybody going to go on about their life while you still sitting over here sick in the hospital.
Absolutely, every time.
So learning that stillness definitely helps. I think social media, myself, I came off last year around this time, November, and didn't go back on to February. I didn't process it or understand it then, what you're just saying now. It was definitely taking up the space that I needed for me and getting all of that out of my head, the showing up and performing for the world.
Yeah.
So you talked about before that you dealt with depression, sexual abuse, suicidal, yes, and SA also. Mm-hmm. And you did all that as a child. Mm-hmm. All that happened to you as a child, rather. Mm-hmm. Coming into yourself, what was the first feeling that you felt when you said, I'm choosing to live, and this is how I'm going to do it?
Well, it's multiple times where I came across, wanting to take my life. Like it laid, like I mentioned to you before, it laid dormant. And so I would just cover it up with, hopeful practices and, you know what I'm saying? Things that I felt like would help me conquer that.
Okay.
But when a life event would happen, like a betrayal, loss of job, it would trigger that. My last attempt where it really shifted me, where I was like, when I recovered from it, I was just like, yo, I really am not okay. Like there's something, it wasn't like something's wrong with me, but I'm like, there's something happening on a deeper level than these life situations. And once I realized, it's like, oh, I don't like it here.
That's what I was gonna say. You just didn't like it here.
I didn't like it here. I didn't like the structure of society that we have entertainment, we have 9 to 5s, it's credit and taxes. I was like, something about this does not feel like this is why we're here. But yet our identities are wrapped around this construct.
Right.
And having that mentality since you're young and having to function in a normal society, it was like something's wrong with me. But then when I had my last attempt and I recovered, I was like, no, I actually don't like it here. It's not that I'm just depressed, it's
here.
It's here. So for me, it was being able to be satisfied and finding the satisfaction in drinking water, eating a banana, reading a magazine. It was like these tiny steps, because it was that bad.
Wow.
It was these tiny steps where it was just like, brush your teeth.
Wow.
See how present you can be with that. Okay, I did that. I ate this banana, and taking my time to eat my food. It was like really being radically curious about what I can enjoy, be satisfied about in my life, about being here.
Since you got to be here anyway.
Yes, and then it accumulated to bigger things.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Where it went from a banana to, expressing my gifts and sharing offerings and things like that. Just find that genuine appetite and love for life.
Did you have friends or anybody that went through this with you? Or did you just do it mostly?
I did have allies and I did have friends, but ultimately it was me who had to do the work.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to have allies, and some of those allies are not in my life anymore because they enjoyed me when I was in my trauma.
Oh.
They didn't necessarily know how to operate when I transcended it.
That is so good.
And I appreciate them for that time. And it was not easy to have to let them go because it felt shady. But it was just like, how can you not love me and be comfortable with my growth and healing?
Right.
So, I think it's important to have allies. I don't think it's this journey of that death rebirth process of growth is meant to be done alone. Yeah. But you have to have it with skilled folk and people who really want to be there for you, and see you thrive.
That safe space. You gotta find it. You gotta find it.
Absolutely.
I like how you just walked us through the suicide ideation thoughts, the depression, and how you ultimately had to tap back into you, which is hard for most people who deal with that type of stuff. Yeah. It's like you already beating yourself up. It's already me. but then understanding that it's not me. The world needs me here. I just got to figure out how to operate in it because I don't like what's going on right now. And you found that solution. In affirmations, when you decided you can do this in your sleep, and you decided to put the affirmations over music, what was the first aha moment that you said, oh, this is, everybody needs this. I done found the solution to the problem. I'm really healing the land. Or have you thought about that yet?
Well, so with my first affirmation album, Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman, I was creating that for clients and potential clients.
Okay.
The next albums ended up, my intention was, because when you're in crisis, I'm not thinking about how everybody else needs me. I'm thinking about how I need me. So with I See Me Mantras and the other albums, it was like the only person I'm here to serve and to save is Toni Jones, because she's that in despair, and that like I'm the great witness of how bad it is for her. No one else can see how bad it is because I'm strong. And
Did you make these in the crisis season? Did you make any of your albums?
Yes.
I See Me.
I See Me Mantras, Me versus Every Me too. Because there was, like, again, like there was these cycles that I was going through. Because I'm telling you, every time I make an album, I go through an initiation process to become the student of the album, so I can master what these songs mean for my life. So after the first album, the rest of the albums, and they continue to be this way, my next albums will be this way. My intention always is, how is this serving me first? How is this saving me first? And then I share it with the world, and those who resonate with it, they resonate with it. Those who receive from it, they receive from it. And so when I saw that, a paradigm shifted for me, which was the greatest offering, the greatest service, the greatest gift of love I give to people is my personal development, is my personal growth. And by approaching life this way, I've seen things happen without my effort. And I'm like, really, our real hustle is ourselves. That's our truest grind that's going to bring forth fruit in all the ways that we want to serve and help others. And this has come from somebody who's recovered from people pleasing. This is someone who's identified their purpose and their value by being a martyr for other people. You know what I'm saying? That was a huge paradigm shift for me. But once I saw the results of it, I was like, say less.
Okay.
Let me continue to make me the priority, because y'all all benefit from it, you know? So we all benefit from it. So that's ultimately what my message is in my music, is prioritize yourself so you can unlearn, release the stuff that isn't truly you, and you can really be in service from a place of self-love. And ultimately, self-love is really matching the way God loves you.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetically.
That's the part that keeps us stuck. You can love yourself, but it's always coming with conditions. When we put ourselves first, it comes with a condition. And we say self-love and everything, but it still comes with a condition from somebody else. But you're saying, like, focus on yourself first. You're probably the second person that I've talked to that said she found success, but it was in something that she did not even set out to do. She didn't set out for the money. She set out to help her daughter heal from cradle cap, and she became a millionaire. But even then, she still wasn't doing it for the money. Didn't even realize that it was taking off like that. Setting out to heal my baby, make sure my baby don't go through this. And then hearing you say the opposite, what they tell us in business, don't worry about what you like. You're here to service them. And you just flipped the script and said, no, you got to service you first to feed the souls of this audience. And your music is, I haven't listened to all of it because I only listen to.
Take your time. Got to take your time.
Toni, you can't just take your time with your stuff, because your stuff is deep, child. I'll be floating up to the stars if I just take my time, because you take us there. Okay, I can't even pronounce some of the words. You take us there into all that deepness and everything. But before we end this interview, I'm still going, that's still my number one song. I'm going to go listen to the rest of them, but I'm going to have that on repeat for the rest of the month, probably for the rest of the year. Okay.
Energy Budget is a good one too.
I started on Energy Budget. I was clicking through. When I hit that one, I stopped. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back and listen to Energy Budget. Y'all. Okay. But for the person, not even person, for the people, as we close out, because this is our last episode for 2024, as we close out this year, this is, I might get emotional. This has been a year for a lot of people, right? And so a lot of people are probably wondering what they did right, what they did wrong, what does 2025 look like for them. And this is just the holidays, people lost people. It's a heavy, heavy season. Yeah. And with that, 100% of us know that we need change. There needs to be a change from within that's going to definitely drastically change our life. I want you to speak to that group of people. And that's your camera right there.
Oh my gosh, all the tender hearts that are out there. I want to give y'all so much information on where to start. I can really share a lot right now, but what I have to give to you all is explore what is fun. Explore what play feels like to you. What lights you up, okay? Who are the people that you can get lost in time with? When you tap into the energy and feeling of those things, you end up shifting your internal world, okay? One of the things that I learned from attending an Abraham Hicks workshop was we want to get into the space of our feelings determining our environment rather than our environment determining our feelings. Whatever feels fun, whatever feels playful, whatever feels like that juicy connection, get into that feeling. Bring into your awareness, bring into your experience those stimuli that bring that feeling. When you're in that feeling, you start to amplify the opportunities to increase that feeling in your life. I know it's a lot of tragedy. I know it's a lot of grief and uncertainty, anger, valid rage, fear, all of these things. But be like a child. Be like a child. One of my favorite scriptures is that lest you change and become like a child, you will not enter the kingdom of God. Where is the kingdom of God? Yes. The kingdom of God is within you. Yes. This is so important, to become like a child and get laser focused and just say, the present now, what am I enjoying about being here in this life of mine? Tap into that. That's what I got.
Wow. That was good. I'm going to send that part to some people. I got some friends going through stuff, and I'm so close. You know, I'm that friend to be close and walk through it with them, which gets heavy. And it's just like, sometimes I cannot find the words. Yeah. But one of the things that I do is find joy in everything. I laugh a lot. I sing. I'm silly. I'm goofy. I can be pissed off, and the next minute, people won't even know that I've been through a whole lot, because I'm going to show up with a smile. So I like when you say that, but I'm always reminded of that scripture also. And I'm like, if we can just be childlike again, if you just be childlike, don't worry about what you've been through already and the hurt. We know what her pain feels like, but just be a child.
And there's space for that.
Yes.
The wholeness and expansion of self is a wild place, because then you watch yourself have space for the joy, have space for the pain, for the fear, for the chaos, for the order, for the alignment, for the fun.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? For the you have space for it all, and you're able to be that divine representation that says, I love this whole experience. Yeah. So we'll be here for another hour.
We will be here for an hour, but because I want to tap all into your brain. But before I let her go, and I normally end with, I encourage you to say something, but I want to end today with Toni giving you something to say. How about that? Give them one mantra.
I am worthy of being curious on where the joy is in my life.
She is on it.
And feeling it.
And feeling it.
And feeling it.
I am worthy of being curious of where the joy is in my life and feeling it. That's 2024 in a nutshell, y'all.
Period.
Period. Thank you so much for stopping by, Toni. When is the next event? Well, the next experience? Because we all want to come.
When the corporate sponsor says, hey, we want to sponsor, present, power your ideas and event.
So come on, Amazon,
Cadillac, Gaia, Calm app.
Every Calm app, for real. Listen, Calm, they need to sponsor it. Absolutely.
That's what we're calling in. It's going to happen.
Yes, it is. And make sure I know Pam gonna make sure I'm there,
Yeah.
so I ain't gotta worry about it.
Yes.
Pam, I can't wait to have this experience. I feel like I want to do it though because I have a girlfriend quarterly outing every quarter. I feel like we need to do this
I think it's important.
for Q4.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Do you do small events, intimate settings? Can people book you for
I
that?
I do. It goes through a booking process.
Yeah, we know you're important. We know, girl.
Yeah,
she don't give everybody access
You
to
know
her.
what? I feel like wherever you're at in your career, you need a process, a system in place to set boundaries.
Do.
You know what I'm saying? For things to be fluid. So I don't think it's whether you're here, there. You got to have a system in place.
So you can show up and do the work and not be worried about the booking and all the other stuff. I need you to show up with your mind ready for us. Okay, y'all, she do. Get your girlfriends together. Y'all got time. It's in November. Get it together. Thank you so much, Toni.
Thank you for having me. And if anybody wants to get closer to the message, all the things of what I do, all the things that I offer, you can go to iamtonijones.com. I do have a membership subscription-based community called Affirmation. But all of that is on my website, iamtonijones.com.
So you're going to send us an affirmation every morning when we subscribe?
Well, you do get daily prompts.
Okay.
But yeah, all the information is there so they can find all of that stuff, like affirmations, the meditations that I do. So.
Girl, you need to be in college campuses everywhere. I'm telling you, these
I
young
agree.
people need you.
I'm ready. I have so much to share.
You and Erica Mason. You know Erica Mason?
Yes, that's my homie.
Oh, I love
her.
Erica. I think I watch her every single day. Her music, y'all go hand in hand. Her music is amazing. I'm in love with her. You're my girl crush, Erica. I told Pam last time I need to get in. I need to shake hands with this girl. Yeah. I love her music. It's like I love yours. So I can see y'all doing something together.
Yeah,
so grab her too.
Okay, got you.
Include her in the price, okay? So I normally would give y'all something, but y'all heard what she said. You know, what you told them?
I'm worthy of being curious of where the joy is in my life and feeling it.
And feeling it. Boom. I already feel it. So see y'all later. Until next time.
Peace.